Hi everyone, it's Verónica Moreno here, coach and therapist, and today I'm going to be talking about emotions and how we can express them in a healthy way. So this topic is kind of a taboo, and probably just by saying I'm going to talk about emotions, I've lost half of the audience, but that's fine, because people are really scared of being in touch with their emotions, and I mean it's unfortunately, it's understandable if we think about the emotional education we normally receive. What's the first thing you do if you see someone's crying? You try to stop it. When we see someone crying, we can't bear to see someone crying immediately. It's like, oh no, we try to make them laugh. No, stop, it's gonna be okay. We're not comfortable with people expressing their own emotions, let alone us expressing our own emotions. And we're told that if we cry, we're weak. If we're angry, we are not well behaved. So a lot of limiting messages, a lot of lack of knowledge that leads to people not understanding and not being able to accept their own emotions, or not being able what to do with them. And it's not that complicated. It's relatively simple. So hopefully this video will help with that. So some people talk about negative and positive emotions, and I don't think emotions are positive or negative. Some emotions feel pleasant and some others feel unpleasant, but they're not negative or positive. They're not good or bad. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the unpleasant emotions and what we can do to deal with them and to express them in a healthy way. So there are many words you can think about. You can think about feeling angry, mad, upset, frustrated, overwhelmed. Hundreds of words you can use. But if you stop and think, you could probably, however you're feeling, if it's unpleasant, you could probably put it in one of these three basic emotions: fear, sadness, or anger. So what do we do with these three? So the first thing is, if you feel overwhelmed by your emotions and you don't know what to do, the first thing is to stop and breathe and just try to understand what's going on inside yourself. Secondly, allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling. Whatever you're feeling, you have the right to feel that way, and allow it and connect with it, because otherwise we're going to be repressing it, and that's very unhealthy, and that can even lead to physical symptoms if we systematically repress our emotions and try to ignore them and we don't do anything about them. So the first basic emotion, fear. Fear can be useful. Fear is a warning that there is a threat and we have to do something about it. The problem is when it becomes paralyzing fear, and then it's limiting what we do, how we think, how we behave. So if you stop for a second, if you think, okay, yeah, it's fear. I'm scared of something. First of all, the key is to understand, what am I scared of? What's the worst thing that can happen? And sometimes, most of the times, we create like potential scenarios in our head of things that never happen, that are not even likely to happen, but we kind of stay attached to those. Oh, but what if this happens? What if I lose my job? What if I go to jail? What if I die? What if, like this scenario? So think about what am I scared about? What's the fear? What do I fear? And whatever it is, when we feel overwhelmed by fear, is because consciously or unconsciously, we think that we don't have the resources to deal with whatever potential scenario, whatever might happen. So the key is to remind yourself that you do have resources to deal with whatever might happen. So for example, one of the things a lot of people are scared of nowadays is, what if I lose my job? What if my company shuts down? What if I have to close my business? What if I don't make money? And again, it can be helpful because there is a threat, there is uncertainty out there. So okay, I listen to this fear. What can I do about it? Maybe I can spend a bit less to have some savings just in case. Maybe I can be prepared and update my CV. Maybe I can do some changes to my business to try to reach more clients. But when we think about these terrible negative scenarios, what if I lost my job? You've looked for a job before. You have experience, you have skills, you have resources, you have qualifications. Of course you will be able to find another job. Yeah, it might be a shock at the beginning, and maybe that's not what you want. You don't want it to happen because you like your job. But the key is, if you're very scared of losing your job, and this is just an example, think about, what could I do if this actually happened? What can I do about it? And write down those resources and those skills, those trends. Think about all the situations that you've overcome before. I'm sure you've been through many difficult situations and you're here. So so it's all about trying to think what you have, what internal and external resources you have to deal with whatever situation you are scared of. The second basic emotion is sadness. So sadness, I'm not reinventing the wheel if I say that the way to release it is by crying or just by spending some time on your own. And as I said at the beginning of the video, we have a problem with seeing people crying. It's uncomfortable. It's like, no, we need to stop this. Crying, sadness is how we integrate a loss. So if you feel sad about something that you're letting go, about something that is not there in your life, about a chapter in your life that is finishing, crying and sadness is a way to integrate that's no longer part of your life. So again, don't be scared of this emotion, and if you need to spend some time on your own, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with crying, and we need to normalize this, honestly, and we need to understand that there is nothing wrong. We are not weak if we are crying. We don't have a problem. We are not it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with us. Of course, assuming normal health conditions, but there's nothing wrong with it. So if you just need to take some time and cry, or just be with just be on your own, and just let go. Maybe you don't feel like talking to people that day, and that's fine. So respect that feeling and go with it. Maybe you feel like journaling, like saying goodbye to something, just writing about it and how you feel. Journaling is a great way to express emotions, any of them, but it can be very helpful with sadness and just to let it out. And the other one of the basic emotions is anger, and this is a tricky one, because especially as women, and again, this is part of the emotional education or the lack of emotional education we receive. Especially as women, we're told that we have to be like little princesses and be very polite and nice to everyone and loving, and that's great, don't get me wrong, but we also have the right to be angry. We also have the right to be upset and mad, and there is nothing wrong with that. So one of the best ways to release anger is physical exercise, any type of physical activity, even if it's going up and down the stairs, you know, like visualizing that every step you take, you're releasing the anger, whatever it comes from. If it comes from, I don't know, an argument you had with your partner, or with your boss, or what's going on in the world, whatever it is, it doesn't need to have a specific, there doesn't need to be a specific reason. But again, you have the right to feel that way, and if you want to do, or if you're doing a Zumba class or a body combat class, and you can visualize whatever the source or whatever the reason of your anger is, and you visualize it, like every time you step, every time you do a movement where you're running, a great exercise is to write a name or a word that represents whatever your anger comes from on the sole of your trainers. So you visualize that every step you're taking, every time you're running, you're walking, you're going up and down the stairs, you're releasing that anger. So you put the intention of releasing that anger, and you will see that after that you will feel much better. And especially, for example, if you have, now that we're spending a lot of time at home with our loved ones, if you have an argument with your partner, it's much better to release the anger and let that anger out before you can start a discussion, so the discussion stays a discussion and doesn't become an argument. Again, journaling, a great way to release anger. And here the key is to not think about what you're writing about. It's not a biography, it's not a diary, it's about letting it out. So don't think about the grammar, don't think about if it makes sense, just write automatically whatever comes to your mind. And if that includes swear words or you saying that you want to kill someone, that's okay, because you're letting it out. It's in your notebook. You're not gonna hurt anyone, you're not gonna hurt the person. It's just about how you feel in that moment. And you don't want that in your body, do you? You don't want that type of messages or thoughts. You don't want that feeling in your body. It's only gonna hurt you. And as I said before, if we repress that, if we ignore that, it can turn into physical symptoms. If we systematically repress when we feel angry and we don't let that out. So physical exercise with the intention of release anger, or journaling without thinking, just whatever comes to your head, a great way to release anger. So those are the three basic emotions. So if you feel a bit overwhelmed, not at ease, so try to think and break down what's going on there, because it's very likely going to be one of these emotions or a combination of these emotions, and use that tools to release them so they don't stay in your body. And trust me, you're going to feel so much better. I hope that helped, and if you have any questions, let me know. Happy to answer and happy to help. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.